We are the dollars and cents.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do another unboxing, first impressions, and update video. This time it comes from the house of NAVITUS Parfums. And if you guys remember, we talked a little bit about them back a little while back, and I'll link any of those videos down in the description below. But I did, I think I got my hands on a sample pack. I can't remember if I got that from the website or if I got it from a user. I think I might have gotten it from a user. But I don't remember if this one was on there or not back in the day. I don't think this one was in the set. This one might be a newer release, and I do have the the date here, and it's, I want to say I did that video like way before 2020. So but I did get a really good price on this. Somebody was selling a 50 ml bottle, a partial, for super cheap, and I had to get my hands on it and at least try it. Not sure if I'm going to keep it, but if you guys remember, the house of NAVITUS Parfums, this is a fragrance called Lautus. But again, I'll link that video down below. But we did speak briefly about how it is Stephen. I never can say his last name right, but Redolescence, Stephen from Redolescence. And like once it was around the time that Jeremy released his fragrances, and everybody in Fragcom wanted to release their own fragrances or be part of something like that. That's just the way. That's just the way the machine moves. Fortunately, I didn't get caught up in all that stuff. I don't have the means and resources to even get caught up in that kind of stuff. I'd rather just talk about them. But anyway, so I think I went on their website to get this information, and he is still part of that, the creative director or something like that. He's not the nose for him, I don't think, but I think he's like some sort of creative director or something like that, to where he gets to make decisions for some of the fragrances. Anyway, oh, quickly, I'm going to a Hawaiian themed party tonight. That's why I'm wearing this get up. So I apologize. This is usually my 4th of July shirt, actually. So yeah, Lautus, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. You guys know that I always pronounce these things wrong, so forgive me. Lautus is a unisex woody Shifra fresh fragrance released in 2020. The nose behind this fragrance is Bertrand Deschanfour, who is a rock star perfumer. Nice looking presentation here, and I can't remember if the NAVITUS parfums were if they were clones or not. I want to say there was a couple that were, but or they're just reminded me quite a bit. I don't think they're exclusively a clone house or anything like that. I think they have originals. I just, some are very reminiscent to others. I want to say in that video, one reminded me of like heavily of Carlisle or Red Tobacco. Like it was nearly identical, and that's the one that everyone likes. So here's the box. I'll go ahead and take the bottle out. That way you guys can get a sneak preview of that one. I will say their presentations are top notch. So here the top comes off the box like this. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like Roja. It has like this really cool velvet on the inside. So yeah, here's the bottle. And I was debating on doing another fragrance tonight, but I'm going to a party and I don't want to wear anything too daring. And this one seemed the safest out of what I have on my table over here, my video table. I will say there's some like little bits floating around in here. Not really sure where that came from. Not sure if that's going to hurt the fragrance. Not sure it's going to help it, but it's not going to. I don't think it's going to hurt it. So, all right. So here's the notes for this fragrance. In the top we have lavender, yuzu, lemon verbena, and neroli. In the mid we have orris fruit, cascarilla, I don't know what that is. Juniper berries and freesia. In the base, we have vanilla, sandalwood, alisander wood, I believe, or palisander rosewood, patchouli, and ambergris, and musk. So yeah, I wrote these really like a long time ago and really small. Yeah, looking forward to trying this fragrance. It is a parfum, so I'm guessing it's gonna be really heavy. It does sound like it's gonna be really fresh in the top and in the mid, but there's vanilla and sandalwood in the base. So I'm guessing because it is nice and cool outside. You guys can see my long sleeves here. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be nice for the cooler weather, maybe in the base, or at least because it's not super cold right now. But we'll see. So let's give this fragrance a first impression real quick. I'm gonna pull up my sleeve real fast so I don't get too much of the juice on there. Clean hand. Here we go. Good sprayer. Nice atomizer on this one. I'm barely pushing down on it. It's like streaming out a huge stream. Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm getting a little bit of a Gravitas Pour Homme feel in the top. Just a little bit. So Gravitas was I believe that was Dan's fragrance. So it has like that old school Shifra feel. But it's very green, very citrusy, very fresh. Sort of reminds me a little bit of Hubagant's um, Fougere Royale. And I also mentioned that that fragrance reminded me of one of the Tempest Vitae's that Tim Hooks put out. This one is different. It just slightly reminds me of those. But this sort of has that same feel. This has like that old school feel to it. Um, but it's citrusy. It's fresh, but it's thick and heavy. I see the vanilla's in there. I'm getting the patchouli. I'm getting the sandalwood. So even though it's like fresh a little bit on top, it's also thick and green and heavy and a little herbally as well. Um, so not a bad fragrance. It's definitely going to be okay for the kind of weather that we got going on tonight. I don't think it's going to be. This isn't too like summery or fresh where it's not going to get noticed in the cold weather. Um, this definitely has enough bass in it, if you will, and enough heavier notes in this to really stand out in the cooler weather. So that's pretty good, I guess. I will say it's not really besides that opening of that old school sort of fougere kind of feel. Um, I'm not really getting any other comparisons. I'm just getting. I mean, I'm getting a lot of patchouli. It's nearly dirty. It's very citrusy and thick and sweet. It's a little sweet from the vanilla, but it's also kind of getting a little patchouli heavy. Um, very earthy, very dirty. I thought there was some. I thought I got some whatchamacallit in this, some vetiver, but I don't think I see any in the notes here. So that must be the patchouli that's just giving it that dirty, earthy vibe. But it's still sweet, so that's nice. It's actually being the vanilla is really helping this fragrance out because if it was too patchouli heavy, I don't know. I don't know. It might even it would give off a different feel. But I think this is a nice blend. This is a nice blend of fresh notes with thicker, heavier notes in the base. So not right now, not a bad fragrance. Not having my socks blown off. This isn't like an original creation to my nose. Doesn't exactly remind me of a clone, but I know that I've been down this road before. So again, not really singing a lot of praises currently. But right now, this fragrance is okay. Citrusy, old school feeling. It's very, very strong though. This one's going to be very, very strong. I can tell. It's got a lot of oomph to it. The patchouli notes very sharp, strong, green, earthy, with the citrus notes that are very sharp as well. So it's nice. It's nice, guys. But this first half of the video is taking way too long, guys. So I apologize for that. I'll probably shorten up the update because it's kind of you kind of know where this is going. Unless I get surprised in the dry down, and it changes up a bit, it's probably gonna be pretty short and sweet in the update, guys. So if everyone's having a good weekend, and I'm gonna go off to this party and have some fun and hopefully meet some new people. And everyone have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys here in a second. All right, guys, I'm back with my update for Lautus from the house of NAVITUS Parfums. The house that's represented by Redolescence, Steven. Gotta say, I like this perfume, actually. Not my favorite, but it's really good. I will say this reminded me of a cross between a couple of other fragrances. If you were to take, like, Aqua de Parma Colonia or any of the Colonia like the fresh flankers they had. Maybe that opening, sort of that old school barbershop opening, maybe not barbershop, but just that old school opening. And if you mix it with Mancera's Cedrat Boisé, which is supposed to be like their take on Aventus, I think anyway, the dry down of that one, you get this fragrance. So picture just a old school, fresh, citrusy opening. And it goes into that very vanillic, very sweet, sharp, citrusy, and patchouli dry down. That's what you get from this fragrance. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, honestly. I mean, I'm not going to say it exclusively smells like those two. That's just kind of what it reminded me of whenever I wore this one a few times. And actually got positive attention with this when I wore this into a party last Saturday and went to go pick up some beverages from 7-Eleven. And the guy there he's like, man, it smells really good. What is that? Can I have the name of it? Told him how much it was. He wasn't really a fan of the price, but like I said, I think this one was $134 now discounted, or $136.50 for a 100 mil. So that's actually not a bad price for a niche because, I mean, honestly, you're going to be paying that more than that for some other fragrances on the market, but this house isn't that well known. I will say it's high quality, like presentation. Um, is this supposed to be a clone of something else? I'm not sure. I want to say Forganica mentioned a couple of other ones, but I didn't really get that. If not, I just didn't know what those were. But at the end of the day, I'm going to stick with my comparison because I think it's fairly accurate. I think it's fair to say that it kind of reminds me of those two. But the longevity with this fragrance, I got 8 hours with this fragrance, and for what it is, I mean, it does start off kind of fresh and citrusy, but it does have that vanilla note in it and that patchouli note. And that's really what stood out. I mean, there's a ton of notes in this thing, but really what stood out was the vanilla, sandalwood, and the patchouli really in the dry down. It was very woody, very creamy, sweet, citrusy, and a little bit dirty with that patchouli. But nice. Projection for this fragrance. I got pretty good projection. I mean, I'm maybe just under beast, but that's probably for the first hour or two. It did get a little bit closer to the skin after that, but I did get wasp of it throughout the day. But like the guy at the 7-Eleven said, he's like, man, that stuff's really, really strong. He's like, I like it, but it's really, really strong. And I probably only did like maybe 4 sprays of this one because it was kind of warm that evening. And this sprayer is just fantastic. This is probably one of the best sprayers I've tried in a long time. You barely push this thing down and you get like, look at that. I barely pushed it. Honestly, almost no pressure. And look how much juice comes out. I mean, that's a full mist and I just barely pushed it down. I mean, it smells really good in here now. But yeah, so the projection for this fragrance was really good. I mean, for what you're getting, a sweet citrusy scent, really, really good, kind of an old school scent. It's a lot better than the other ones you're getting. So keep that in mind, guys, because the performance of this fragrance is top notch. Seasons for this fragrance, now that's going to be kind of tricky actually, because it is fresh, not fresh, but like it has the citruses on top. But it is vanillic, okay? So, and the vanilla note is there. Like, you're going to get it. It's very thick, very sweet, citrusy sweet with that heavy patchouli note. So I'm going to say probably more towards the cooler weather. So this is going to be more of a cooler weather scent, maybe even warm, because I did say I wore it in the warmer weather. I just had to go a little bit easier on the trigger. But I'm going to say that spring, fall, winter, early spring, mainly spring or like fall, but you know, I'm thinking you can pull this one off in the winter as well. I mean, it's pretty loud, guys, I will say. Occasions for this fragrance, I do think this one could be worn for most occasions. It does have like a casual feel with the citrus notes, but at the end of the day, this one has that dirty, earthy patchouli note mixed with the vanilla note. So this one does smell more gentlemanly. This one smells more suit and tie. I can see someone wearing like a black suit with this, like with a big old Chad beard, you know, just a big old beard, big old manly beard. But yeah, so you know, I think you probably could just wear this one casually, but I'm gonna say probably evening events, maybe date night. I think it's sexy. I think this is a sexy fragrance. I think it definitely gets the job done. For date night. Now, this isn't a club scent, but I think it's strong enough for a club. So, I wouldn't wear this to a club because this is just too gentlemanly. This is too more of like maybe like a speakeasy. Obviously, that's not a club, but you're gonna be around people and there might be smoke and you know there's gonna be a crowd there. But this speaks more like a speakeasy or just kind of like a really chill place to have drinks, not so much a club. But it's strong enough for a club. Ages I'm gonna say 30 and up for this one. I think 25 and up can pull it off, but I think 30 and up can easily afford the price. It does have that old school feel. Some of the younger noses might not like it. It is pretty strong. Again, some of the younger noses might be turned off by how strong it is. So, and the guy at 7-Eleven was older, so, and he said he really enjoyed it. So, if that said anything. But overall, I do think this is a nice fragrance. I think this is a really good fragrance. Now, if you guys down in the comments, please let me know if this is supposed to be a clone of anything, because I will just, if the clone is cheaper than this, then just go get the clone if it's that close. But honestly, it stood out to me to be an original creation. If it's not, forgive me. But I do think this is an original creation, and I do think it's really, really good for what it is. Again, I'm not gonna go out of my way to wear this one every day, but I think this would be a solid addition to my collection, especially for the price that I got it for, guys. I mean, I think I told you guys I paid like 30 or 35 bucks for this one. I mean, that is dirt cheap for this. I was really wanting to hook that dude up, who wanted it. I think his name was Jamie, but forgive me again if I got that name wrong. But man, I'm probably going to have to end up keeping this one because I'm never going to find this fragrance for that price again. And I do think I will reach for this one. It might be on a special occasion, or just this one for right here will have to be on just a special day. Okay, like I just won't wear this one every day, but this one would have to be. I'll know. I'll know when the day comes when I'm going to wear this fragrance, and that day will be really nice. But yeah, guys, what are your thoughts on Lautus? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Lautus perfume from the house of NAVITUS. Do you like this fragrance? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Is it as good as I think it is? Let me know your thoughts on this fragrance down in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys are thinking, guys. But thank you guys so much for watching my channel. If you like this video, please click that like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications for future first impression videos and fragrance content just like this, guys. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Dollars and Cents. There, you'll find first photos and future contest winners. And as always, until next video, you guys take care. Thanks.